The Young and the Restless spoilers title, Betrayal in the Shadows, Audra's strategic manipulation to destroy Kyle and Claire's relationship in the world of The Young and the Restless, where power struggles, deceit, and complicated relationships form the core of the narrative. Few characters embody the complexity of ambition and manipulation as vividly as Audra Charles. Victor Newman, the ever-calculating business tycoon, has long been a master of orchestrating conflicts for his personal gain. In a new chapter of his manipulative journey, Victor has set his sights on one of his many targets, Kyle Abbott. His strategy, however, involves the use of Audra as a pawn in a dangerous game of deception. The goal? To destroy Kyle's relationship with Claire and forever fracture the bond that seems to be the only thing keeping Kyle grounded. The setup, a devious partnership. Victor's latest scheme is both cunning and calculated, relying on Audra's ambition and her own hidden motives. As Victor offers her a new career direction and the chance to prove her loyalty, Audra finds herself at a crossroads. She has no intention of merely being a pawn in Victor's game. Instead, she sees this as an opportunity to carve out her own power and control. Victor knows this all too well, and it is this ambition in Audra that he plans to manipulate. Audra's task is simple: break Kyle and Claire apart by exploiting Kyle's weaknesses and creating a rift between them. The method of attack is not through direct confrontation, but through subtlety and seduction. Victor is convinced that by exploiting Kyle's vulnerabilities, Audra can plant the seeds of doubt in Claire's mind, making it impossible for their relationship to survive. Audra, however, insists that she will not sleep with Kyle as part of the plan. Instead, she believes she can manipulate the situation by creating the illusion of betrayal, twisting Kyle's actions in such a way that Claire will see him as untrustworthy. It's a game of perception, one in which Audra is determined to play her part flawlessly. The dance of deception, Audra's strategy. While Audra insists that she won't resort to physical manipulation to destroy Kyle's relationship with Claire, it's clear that the line between manipulation and genuine affection is razor-thin. From the outset, Audra's plan relies on the subtle art of seduction, not just in a physical sense but in an emotional one as well. Audra recognizes that her greatest weapon is her ability to weave a web of confusion and doubt. At the heart of her strategy is her relationship with Nate Hastings. Audra has worked hard to cultivate her connection with Nate, keeping him close while hiding her true intentions. Nate is completely unaware of the depth of Audra's manipulative capabilities, trusting her despite her complicated motives. This secrecy is crucial to Audra's plan. She cannot afford to let anyone, especially Nate, uncover her true intentions. Her relationship with him serves as a perfect cover for her manipulations. Audra's plan takes shape as she begins to plant subtle seeds in Kyle's mind. She does not need to convince him to fall in love with her. This is not her goal. Instead, she seeks to create a scenario in which Kyle feels conflicted, perhaps even guilty, about his loyalty to Claire. Audra's actions will be calculated to blur the line between genuine feelings and a well-executed manipulation. She understands that Kyle may be resistant to her advances, but she also knows that desire often has an unpredictable way of manifesting itself, especially when the boundaries between love and hatred are so easily crossed. The unraveling, Audra's dangerous game. As Audra continues to work on Kyle, it becomes clear that her plan is not without its risks. While she is confident in her ability to manipulate situations, she cannot predict the outcome of every interaction. Kyle, for all his reservations about her, remains a man capable of great passion. What Audra may not have anticipated is the growing tension between her and Kyle, a tension that could escalate beyond her control. Kyle may loathe Audra, but in the world of the young and the restless, love and hatred often intermingle in unexpected ways. The boundaries between them are not as clear-cut as they seem. Audra, with her charm and cunning, is capable of turning even the most resistant of men into willing participants in her game. As the lines blur, the possibility of a genuine affair, whether emotional or physical, becomes an increasingly real danger. In the dark world of manipulation, there is always the possibility that the manipulator will fall victim to their own tricks. Audra may start to question whether her desire for power and control over Kyle will truly remain just a game, or if she will end up losing herself in the very web she's weaving. But for now, her focus remains on her ultimate goal, the destruction of Kyle and Claire's relationship, no matter the cost. The fallout, Kyle's fury and the collapse of a relationship. It's clear that Audra's manipulation will eventually lead to a catastrophic fallout. Kyle, once he uncovers the truth behind Audra's actions, will be consumed by rage. The betrayal will be devastating, not just because of the emotional harm caused, but because of the realization that his very sense of security and trust has been shattered. Victor, as always, will remain in the shadows, watching as his plan unfolds. He has always seen Kyle as a threat to his empire, and by breaking up Kyle and Claire, he hopes to weaken the Abbott family and solidify his own position. For Victor, this is not personal, it is simply another move in his chess game of power. But for Kyle, it will be deeply personal. He will feel the sting of betrayal not just from Audra, but from Victor as well. The true tragedy of this situation lies in the destruction of a relationship that seemed to offer Kyle a sense of stability. His bond with Claire has been one of the few constants in his tumultuous life. To lose that connection, especially in such a painful and public manner, will send shockwaves through his emotional state. It will also lead to a powerful reckoning between Kyle and Victor, as Kyle finally understands the lengths to which Victor will go to maintain control. The endgame, will Kyle seek revenge? As the dust settles, one question remains: how will Kyle respond? Will he fall into despair, or will he channel his anger into something more destructive? The answer is likely to be explosive. Kyle, like many characters in The Young and the Restless, is no stranger to taking matters into his own hands when betrayed. Whether this will lead to a dramatic confrontation with Victor or a new war with Audra remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the damage has been done. Audra's manipulations, while successful in the short term, will undoubtedly come with consequences. The destruction of Kyle and Claire's relationship is only the beginning of a larger conflict that will ripple throughout Genoa City, affecting not just the characters directly involved but also those who are caught in the crossfire. This story arc of betrayal and manipulation, woven through with complex characters like Victor, Audra, Kyle, and Claire, is set to create intense drama and suspense, making it a perfect fit for The Young and the Restless. It explores the fragile nature of trust, the lengths to which people will go to protect their power, and the emotional consequences of deceit. As this plot unfolds, fans can expect unexpected twists, shocking confrontations, and the inevitable fallout that comes when loyalties are tested and relationships are shattered. In the cutthroat world of The Young and the Restless, few things can drive a person to the brink of madness like betrayal, especially when it comes from those closest to you. For Kyle Abbott, the betrayal by Audra Charles, an intricately planned manipulation driven by the scheming Victor Newman, will ignite a fury that could change the course of his life. With emotions running high, Kyle finds himself at a crossroads, ready to make those who have wronged him pay a heavy price. This is not just about reclaiming his relationship with Claire, it's about retribution. The stakes are raised, the lines are drawn, and Kyle's path to vengeance will leave a trail of destruction in its wake. Kyle's fury, you will pay. When the truth finally hits Kyle, that he's been played by Audra, and that his relationship with Claire has been sabotaged by the forces of Victor Newman, there is no mistaking the storm that will follow. His reaction will be visceral, a mixture of hurt, anger, and deep-seated betrayal. But in a moment of sheer rage, the words that will likely escape his lips will be simple but devastating: you will pay. These 4 words, charged with an intensity that only someone who has been deceived by a trusted person can truly understand, will be the catalyst for Kyle's subsequent actions. His rage will be directed not just at Audra but at the man pulling the strings from behind the scenes, Victor Newman. What started as a manipulation aimed at breaking his bond with Claire will turn into an all-out war, a battle that Kyle will not fight lightly. Kyle has always been a man of principle, a man who holds loyalty and integrity close to his heart. When those principles are shattered by a person he trusted, the consequences will be far-reaching. This is not just about love lost. It's about personal pride, about regaining control of his life and making sure that Victor and Audra understand the price of their deception. Audra's destruction, the price of betrayal. As Kyle grapples with the extent of Audra's manipulation, he will immediately begin plotting his revenge. But unlike many of his previous efforts to resolve conflicts in a more diplomatic manner, this situation calls for a direct and ruthless approach. Kyle's first course of action will be to dismantle Audra's life, starting with the very relationship she's worked so hard to build with Nate Hastings. Audra's partnership with Nate has been built on trust and a shared sense of ambition. But now, Nate's world will be turned upside down. Kyle knows exactly where to hit. He will methodically plant the seeds of doubt in Nate's mind, uncovering the truth behind Audra's deceitful actions. The revelation that Audra has been working with Victor to destroy Kyle's relationship will be enough to fracture her alliance with Nate. Nate will feel not only betrayed but humiliated, used as a pawn in a game he never signed up for. But Kyle's revenge won't stop there. He'll go after the business deal that Victor has offered Audra as a means of further damaging her position. By attacking the foundation of Audra's career, Kyle will expose just how deeply entangled she is in Victor's schemes. Destroying Audra's new opportunities will send a message loud and clear: there will be no escape from the consequences of betrayal. Victor's reckoning, Kyle's pursuit of justice. No story of revenge is complete without addressing the mastermind behind the scenes. For Kyle, Victor Newman is the true architect of his misery, the one who manipulated the situation to cause maximum damage. If anyone is going to truly feel the full weight of Kyle's fury, it will be Victor. Kyle will make it his mission to ensure that Victor is held accountable for his actions, and that the consequences of Victor's interference reverberate throughout his empire. Kyle, fueled by anger and betrayal, will begin to gather allies and resources to take on Victor in a way that hasn't been done before. He will not just seek to expose Victor's actions to Claire. Kyle will make sure that the full extent of Victor's manipulations becomes public knowledge. The fight will become not just personal but professional. Kyle's objective will be to undermine Victor's influence in Genoa City and bring him down, piece by piece. Victor has long been untouchable, his power and control stretching across many facets of business and personal relationships. But Kyle knows that even the mightiest can fall. Through calculated moves, alliances with others who share his desire to see Victor face justice, and by exploiting Victor's weaknesses, Kyle will aim to make Victor realize that no one, no matter how powerful, can escape the consequences of their actions forever. Claire's awakening, the ultimate betrayal. One of the most heartbreaking consequences of Victor and Audra's plan is the toll it takes on Kyle and Claire's relationship. Kyle will be relentless in trying to make Claire see the truth, the depth of the deception, and the fact that they've been caught in a game orchestrated by Victor and his pawns. However, as with any manipulative scheme, the process of revealing the truth is not easy. Claire, who has been swept up in the turmoil caused by Audra's interference, will struggle to see past her own feelings of betrayal and confusion. Kyle's mission will not only be to destroy Audra and Victor's influence but to also help Claire realize the nature of the people who have sought to pull them apart. It will be a tough battle for him, one that will require him to confront not only Audra's betrayal but his own feelings of guilt for not seeing the signs earlier. Ultimately, Kyle knows that if he wants to save his relationship with Claire, he must make her understand the full scope of the plot against them. This will not be a quick resolution. As the emotional turmoil builds, Kyle and Claire's relationship will be tested in ways that neither of them could have anticipated. Will Claire trust Kyle's version of events, or will the damage caused by Audra's manipulations be too great to overcome? Only time will tell if they can rebuild their bond stronger than before, or if the wounds inflicted by this betrayal will be too deep to heal. Audra's awakening, a war with no end. As the tide of revenge turns, Audra will experience a transformation of her own. Initially, she thought she was simply playing a game, manipulating the relationships of those around her to secure her own future. But Kyle's fury will not go unnoticed. Her initial sense of control will begin to slip away as Kyle makes his moves, turning the tables and forcing her to reckon with the consequences of her actions. Audra's rage will only intensify as she realizes the extent to which she has underestimated Kyle. Her bitterness and resentment toward Kyle will grow, and what started as a calculated plan to break up his relationship with Claire will evolve into a bitter feud, one that will only escalate. There will be no stopping the war now. What began as a simple act of revenge will quickly spiral out of control, leaving destruction in its wake. For Audra, the cost of her manipulation is becoming clear. She may have thought she could play both sides and win, but in this game, there are no winners, only casualties. The consequences of her betrayal will catch up to her in ways she never expected, and the price will be steep. The aftermath, vengeance at a cost. As the dust settles, it will be clear that the battle for Kyle's soul and the destruction of the manipulative forces that sought to tear his life apart is far from over. The fallout from Kyle's pursuit of vengeance will leave both Audra and Victor with scars that cannot easily be healed. And for Kyle, there will be no simple resolution, just the haunting knowledge that revenge, once set into motion, has its own price. In the world of the young and the restless, nothing is ever truly over. The players may change, the stakes may shift, but the war between those who seek power and those who are left in its wake is always ongoing. As Kyle stands at the center of this storm, he will be forced to confront not just the people who have wronged him but also the darkness within himself that has been awakened by the need for revenge. The question remains, after the storm has passed, will Kyle and Claire's love survive, or will the battle for retribution leave nothing but ruin in its wake? This extended narrative provides a thorough exploration of Kyle's anger, his calculated revenge against Audra and Victor, and the emotional journey of the characters involved. It delves into the psychological toll of betrayal and the consequences of manipulation, making it a gripping addition to the ongoing drama of the young and the restless.